Hello, everyone. For this semester's practicum, me and Rylie Romero worked for Islanders marketing all semester, and for our project, we will be going over the Clayburgh Bank College Classic for baseball as our event. For this event, it was held at Whataburger Field in downtown Corpus Christi and partially held at Chapman Field on the TAMUCC campus. A little background about Whataburger Field: it is the Corpus Christi Hooks Field, actually, and that is the Astros AAA League, and that is where they play all their home games, and they let us use it for the Clayburgh Classic and a couple of other of the Islander baseball games this season.
Okay, so for our marketing project, the Clayburgh Classic is an event where three teams normally come down to Corpus to play here for the weekend or week. It's kind of a week-long thing, but mainly Thursday through Monday. Normally the teams are Power Five, so this year there was Washington, Pitt, and Maryland all came down here. And then as the marketing department, we use flyers, posters, shirts, and programs to give out and get people excited for the games and to come into the games. And hopefully that would help them understand what was happening.
Event management. This event is held by the baseball team. It is actually an annual event that has been going on for the last 14 years. And this year, the teams were included the TAMUCC Islanders, obviously, the University of Maryland, University of Pittsburgh, and University of Washington. This event is a very high caliber baseball event and has lots of talent. It was held on February 23rd through the 25th, 2024 at Whataburger Field and Chapman Field, like we discussed before. Me and Rylie, we sat at the front where all the fans were entering, and we handed out things like flyers, posters, and season schedules. This event was at the beginning of their baseball season, actually, so we got to hand out all of the things that would help market the team for the later part of the season. Then we also had to help the high school band team take their place on the field so they could perform the national anthem. For these games, they actually performed against Washington, and we had to make sure they were going to the right places and exited correctly.
One of the best experiences, in my opinion, was getting to practice running promos on the minor league field. It's kind of a surreal thing because this is a job that people do in real life, and that's something that I know I want to do, and I know Morgan does as well. And so being able to go under the tunnels, escort the bands on and off the field, being in the press box to see what was happening up there, it was just a really cool experience. And also, I think that one of the best parts was seeing our vision come to life. I know they've been working on the Clayburgh Classic since the fall, but we just came in the spring, and it was like, okay, Clayburgh is happening in 2 months. Let's have a vision and let's put it to life, and to see it all work out perfectly with no hiccups was awesome.
The most challenging thing about this event for us personally was that half of the staff was Islanders marketing staff and the other half was Hook's staff. And this was so challenging because we did not know who had what title for the Hooks. We were not told much about that, and we were not given any contact information. So whenever things would get confusing or we were in a time crunch, it felt very stressful at the end of the day because we were rushing to find someone to help us, and that person might not have known what they were doing, or we might not have gotten the full information on what we should be helping with. After this event, like I said in the last slide, my most important professional lesson was that communication is key. Finding out all the information possible at the beginning so you don't have to ask questions later. And this will make you the best possible employee no matter where you work. So not just for this situation, but later in my career, asking many questions and communicating what tasks need to be done on my end will help me in the long run be a better employer.
I think the most important professional lesson that I learned was to ask questions. I know it can be a little intimidating, especially when everyone's like a busy bee running around, but you can't be afraid to ask questions, because if you don't ask questions and you mess something up, that's even worse. So ask your questions and don't be afraid because it will help you in the long run. And then lastly, for what we would do differently, um, I think that we did a pretty good job of tabling and pushing out the event, but I think that it could be more accessible around campus, showing that there is an Islander game day that day, but it is downtown. And that's another thing I was going to talk about is students always seem to know like basketball when they play at the Dugan versus at the ABC, but I mean baseball we always just think it's at Chapman on campus. So students really do need to be aware that it is downtown at Whataburger Field, and also they need details about Whataburger Field. Like I know my friends had to pay for parking a few times, and that's just an unexpected cost they weren't aware of. So I think that if there's a flyer talking about what you need to bring into Whataburger Field, it would be very helpful for a lot of students.